Alright, welcome back. This is Captain Santiago. A little bit of a chill stream here. Not stream, video. Not going to be a long one, most likely. I've been able to stream last couple days, so we've been making a little progress. Leveling at 20 is going to be pretty slow, especially with the kind of fish we're going after. But as you see, we have been hitting a bunch of common roach. Now, if you haven't seen my stream the past couple days, we have been using an 8-meter clip and fishing for tench here. Tench trophies have been really nice lately here at Mosquito. So let me just show you really quick. It'll slow us down a little bit, but that's okay. I'll still show you. We've been doing classic pop-up. Really kind of an interesting setup here. So we've been using double strawberry 15. So at the end of the day, it looks just like this, okay? Double strawberry 15, 8 meter clip. And we're just throwing right there. This is like Crucian Gibble trophy spot, right? Except we've been doing it with with these double strawberry boilies and catching tench. Multiple trophy tench, which at Mosquito seems really weird. But I'm about to show you where we're catching these roach. Just a little over an hour of fishing. Probably just about fished the spot out, but I'm gonna go give it another try. You can see, I mean, just multiple trophies, short amount of time. This is almost like something you'd see at Sura or Ladoga. No, we're here at Mosquito, and as you can tell, they're all being caught on diced cheese. So this is the normal trophy roach spot. It's just so that the spot is the same as what you might expect, but what's different is the bait. Cheese was working okay before, but honestly, let me get this one out. The trophies used to come out, or for a while they were coming out on stonefly larvae. I don't know if y'all remember when that was popping off a few weeks ago. Like 10-meter clip down here on the other side of the lake. And the thing with the stonefly larva is like really slow bite rate. But when it would catch one, it's like reasonable chance that it'd be a trophy. But we weren't catching this many trophies in an hour. I mean, this is probably a little crazier than that, and it's also just a better bite rate overall. Good many fish. So I'm gonna go get us set up. What is it, 2:30 in the morning? Hopefully at least we'll get through the morning. Maybe we'll catch an extra trophy. I don't know. I feel like the spot was slowing down a little bit. It's probably one of those deals where we need to let it rest, but I also, I'm just not, I didn't want to miss just being able to make this video while the trophies were good. I will tell you one thing. Of course, we're using common roach ground bait. We've been using a 10-meter clip. I will tell you, we're casting a little north of west here, and this is slightly different. I think when I was first fishing for the what do you have on here, 6.2 fluorocarbon, when I was first fishing for the trophy roach, when this spot first started popping off on different baits, I think I was casting more straight west. But it definitely feels like it's been better. Also, we're doing inline rig. For what that matters, we're definitely doing do an inline rig. This one does have the carp braid, but let's switch to this carp braid. That actually might be a better situation. That's kind of interesting. We'll see if this first rod is any better. The other two have fluorocarbon. Yeah, I probably want to put on another carp braid, a carp braided leader on that third one, maybe. Just go fluorocarbon on one. I don't know. Things are a little weird with leaders sometimes. All right, so hopefully, you know, it's still early, it's still overnight, but as it gets to be morning, hopefully we'll get a couple bites. I at least want to show you a couple roach before we wrap this one up. The other thing I've got to figure out, and we're sitting here at 7,300. Obviously, we're going to be 75, almost 7,600 silver. We could easily afford 2 caliber HSVs. Need to get those either feeder or carp rods going too. We could transition Santiago into carp pretty soon. At the rate we're going, we could start testing out some of those spots at Bear, fish or carp at Old Berg. Might be a nice change of pace, honestly. I think that's what I'm prioritizing next, is how quickly can we get something together so we can start fishing for carp. Because it's like bigger fish, a little bit better XP. The silver's not going to be any better at Bear or Old Berg. I mean, we have found ways to make really good silver here at Mosquito and Old Berg, Volkhov lately for those white bream. That's probably something I should also, you know what, maybe I'll do that. Maybe I'll make this video a little longer, and I'm actually going to show you my white bream spot at Volkhov. I say mine. I got it from DK or Discord or something, but it's been working pretty good. So I'll just, again, I'm not going to fish for long, but I'll at least show you a couple of, I kind of forget what I've done on stream and what I've made videos about. I don't think I've shown off that spot on video yet. So that's the thing. I've just been popping back and forth between Volkhov, Old Berg, and Mosquito lately for Santiago, and just making such good, consistent silver. And you're at the point at level 20 where it's okay that we're not leveling very fast. In fact, it's probably a good thing, because we got to get that silver amount up so we can afford the right gear. And that's what we're doing. We're finding these really healthy spots with cafe orders and just making good silver in general. And that's kind of what we want to do here. Once we start fishing for carp, or we start trolling at, you know, Volkhov Quarry, whatever we end up doing, that's when we might see a little bit better XP per hour. But again, we don't really care about that just at the moment. Yeah, let's catch a couple fish here. How long am I willing to wait here to try to show you a trophy? Got high hopes here. I have caught a couple of tench here. It's not like that front spot in terms of how many tench are coming out, but I was feeling that one. Wasn't quite there, but I was feeling it. I'm pretty sure we're in line across the board here. In line. In line. I mean, and we've caught a ton of trophies. I mean, you could try basic bottom or paternoster, but inline seems to be doing fine. We've got quite the nibble going on there. I wonder if that's going to be like a... Have we caught gibble? No, we did catch some bream, though. Speaking of bream, those things aren't worth squat at that size. Let's bream them. Holy cow, that was a quick bite rate. I can't tell. Ooh. Might be another decent one. I guess there's a fish on the first rod as well. We're flirting with it, but haven't quite gotten it yet. What is it, 7 in the morning? Roach are actually more like daytime trophies. It's not like the Crucian Gibble thing where your trophy's going to be overnight. Chunky. We're getting there. We are getting there. So right now, it seems like the slowest bite rate is the middle one. Happens to be the one where we have fluorocarbon instead of the carp braids. That's why I said, like, I want to put the carp braids back on, because sometimes they just are really good. Sometimes I guess it's good to have fluorocarbon, but whew. Look at this bite rate, though. I've hardly paused it. I mean, 1 minute, in the minus, less than 1, less than 1, less than 1, 1, 5, 8. So just in the last, like, 4 fish, it's been very good. All right, I'm going to pause it. I'm telling you, all these trophies, I just think we need to let the spot rest. We're still catching a lot of fish, and it's fine, but it's not like every other fish is a trophy like it was the first hour. But we're going to give it a little bit longer. We'll see. I feel like this 8 to noon, we still got a pretty good chance. All right, watch fluorocarbon, middle rod, end up being the one that does it. Let us down, didn't it? There are some nice sizes, though. Yeah, so, yeah, still pretty good bite rate. Spreading out a little bit as we get a little later in the morning. Spreading out just a teeny bit. He's tricky, Roach. Okay, I lost track of time. I tabbed out. It started raining. I have no idea even how many fish we have on. We probably still don't have a trophy. It's very sad. Don't come fish this spot. Just kidding. Do come fish this spot, but only fish it for the first hour. It's really good, but it definitely has, like, it's not been as good the second hour. Let's just put it that way. It's not been as good the second hour. But, I mean, as you can see, it was good. So let's just go to Volkhov real quick. I really want to do this really quick, and I'll try to show you, a fish or two just to show that it's actually an active spot. But, of course, it's going to be better at night. White bream always are. By the way, the total on our Roach are 321. I mean, we'll take 321 silver and, like, lazy man Roach spot any day, right? Alright, let's just go straight to the spot. Well, I was going to check cafe. We're not catching... actually, we'll probably get 1 tench that size if we stay here long enough. Alright, this is where we are. So, let me slow down here. I don't know that I've even ever been to Volkhov on this leveling guide. Here's the deal. When you come to Volkhov, you start over here. You get to Volkhov when you're level 20. The reason to come to Volkhov is not just the fishing, which the fishing can be really good. But the reason to come Volkhov is that pretty much this is the first map you go to that everything is in stock. Is it possible for something to be out of stock? It actually is possible, but it is so unlikely. This is a great map for buying stuff. So come to the shop, get whatever you need. You finally can get those boilies that have been out of stock everywhere. You can get the flies or whatever other baits. Now, one of the cool things about Volkhov is even though we're starting over here on the far eastern side on this place here, if you're going to troll, which trolling between the islands and trolling out here can be really good, and I hope that we will get to that in this series. Santiago will hopefully get to that at some point. I want to hit carp first. I think I've pretty much decided to hit carp first, but once we start catching carp, we just save up for a couple of spinning rods. We can throw those caliber HSVs on the spinning rods. It's all good. So if you're going to be trolling, obviously you're getting in category A boat. You could get in category B boat, one of these, but why would you? You're going to get in category A boat. It's worth it. Pay a little bit more. And you're going to trolling around. Now, if you're bottom fishing, though, and you want to go to the islands, you're actually going to take the ferry, which is the coolest thing about this map. And I wish that actually they had something like this on more maps than this one. Volkhov is one of the best maps, though, y'all. It really is. Hashtag bring back Volkhov. All right, so, oh man, have I told the Bream and Ide story? Standing on this dock. This is like early days of RF4. English servers just come out. I finally find out about the game. I play it like crazy. I start streaming it. This was back in like 1994. And there's not that many people playing it back then, not compared to now. And you would hear like, yo, the Bream are popping off at Volkhov. Right? For a long time, this was the only place that rare trophy Bream were biting, or were possible. You would come here and literally, like, everyone that played the game would be in this spot. Like, if this is where they were popping off, dock, like 20-meter clip right out here. You would come here and you wouldn't be in chat. They didn't have like individual chats back then. You would look at where you were on the map, that chat, and you'd see like, 300 people in the same spot. Like everyone that played the game was right here, catching Bream and Ide. It's like 200 silver an hour for Bream and Ide. And back then, 200 silver an hour, if somebody was catching 200 silver an hour somewhere, everyone in the game was there. I mean, that was like the gold standard. Didn't happen very often. If you get 200 gold an hour, everybody was there. But one of the big Bream spots was actually just right here off this dock. There was a lot of other Bream spots as well. I remember watching Riftquake streaming when I was trying to level really fast to get to Volkhov, and he was up here like fishing off this island. More recently, this has been like a Vimba spot or something. I don't know, different stuff. But back in the day, like you could kill Bream. Just fill up your net with Bream. So fun. Anyway, we're going to take the ferry. We hit E. We have suddenly transported. You see this line here? This is the ferry. So now we're way over here. We can just run across this bridge, and now we're on this island. Or we can stay where we are, and we're on the big island. We can run around this island. Lots of good fishing spots off this island. The only island you can't get to without a boat is that island over there. That island over there. You can actually land. And this island's used to have some really good blue Bream spots. I'm sure they still do. People just don't fish here as much as they used to. But anyway, you can just travel back and forth on the ferry for free just by hitting E when you look at the ferry sign. But this is the spot right here. This is literally where I've been catching white Bream. Haven't trophied it yet, but lots of fat white Bream right here. You want to kind of cast it just a little west of north. 10-meter clip. It's so small. This used to be a really good tench spot, by the way, this area. And you still do catch some tench here. But right now what we're doing is we're catching some white Breams. Here's what I'm going to suggest to you, though. You want to go 8 hook. You don't want to go large hook. You want to go 8 hook. And we are doing double sinking boilie, but look at this. We're doing size 8. Caramel cream brulee. Throw some cream dip on there. What did I say? 10-meter clip. This is what I like to do. Rod 1. Rod 3. Classic pop-up. Classic sinking. Classic hair rig. I was going to say, could you do this pop-up? Probably. Oh, you know what I actually tried? And I'll show you this. Classic pop-up, 8 hook. So pop-up boilie, caramel 8 pop-up with caramel corn. It's awesome. It's not as good as the other setup. Top tier setup is going to be what I have on line 1. But this is still pretty good. Now, you've got a choice here on the second rod though. You could go another setup like this and try to maximize the really big white bream, but this is what I kind of like to do. We made this fake white bream ground bait, right? Pearl barley base, bloodworms, maggots, anise oil attractant. I like to throw this on here, and I think I forgot to put, no, maybe I didn't. Maybe we're good. Let me think about this, chat. I think redworm is my favorite. I think redworm is my favorite to use here because then you kind of catch a lot of things, and so you get that ground bait going in and out. So we're going to put the ground bait on there, 10-meter clip. Did I remember 8? Yeah, I did. The other thing we want to do is we want to get that same flavor ground bait. And we're at 10 clips, so we don't need to cast it. We don't need to throw this far, just like right around 50%, maybe a little under. We're just going to get it in the water a little bit. I mean, look at this. We've already got 2 fish on. Let's see what we caught here. First fish, white bream. Just going to get these pancake after pancake. I've hit 200 silver here an hour in this spot, but I've also hit 100 silver an hour in this spot doing this. So it can be wildly inconsistent. It's all going to depend on the tench. If you have a good hour of catching white bream and a few really nice tench, then you're going to go really nice on silver. If you just catch white bream and then a few small gibbles like this, which I think that's why, what you just saw is why this setup is better than this setup, is they'll both catch really good white bream, but the one with the corn on there is going to catch more of the gibbles. Now, we've got redworms here in the middle. As you know, this is going to catch everything, but it will catch white bream as well. And the fact that it's such a good bite rate means that ground bait's going in and out of the water, and it's going to be well fed. So, a couple of cool things. One, you may not know this, but there is a satellite tackle store here at Volkhov. You've got tackle store, you've got fish market. If you just want a quick update, hey, how much is my fish worth? And you've got a grocery store. I'm almost out of carrots. We've got to get some carrots, you know? So the thing is, you know how I was telling you that nothing runs out of stock at Volkhov with very few exceptions. That is not true at this satellite store. So like if I go to Caliber HSV, it'll probably be out of stock here. I mean, almost everything's out of stock. Here it is. Caliber HSV out of stock. Now, let me show you something. Fat white bream, 63.3. I really think if I do this long enough, we will eventually hit the trophy, surely. All right. Now I took the ferry, I'm back to the main store. So I showed you how the Caliber HSV is out of stock. Oops. Whoops. Oops. Not out of stock here. So they have it here. All right. We're down to 4,700 silver. We just bought ourselves a Caliber HSV. You know, the question is, what rod am I going to put with it? I think what we're going to do, I think this is what I've decided. I might sleep on it, or I might just impulsively get it right now. I think I've decided Wingate. Because here's the deal. If you go Wingate 130XH, you can max out for carp fit. Yeah, you can't. You can't go 36, can you? so hard, isn't it? This is why it's so tempting to just go carp rod. 39 lets you max out 36. You can pretty much fish for carp for years with this. This rod, you can fish for carp for years. The only place you can't is at stinking copper. That's okay. We're not going to be at copper for a long time, and by then we'll fish it probably at Norway some on some trips. I mean, we can make the silverback. It's just really confusing, like which is the best to do now. I'm still not sure, but I think the Wingate would be nice. The question is, if you're going Wingate, then that's not your permanent solution for carp. So you've got to be okay with Wingate being your permanent solution for copper. But is that really what I want? Is redworms just doing all the weird things? Is that really what I want? Is copper long term being... Yeah, I'm more and more convinced that if we're using... The only way I want to use this setup, I think, is if this is on my second setup. I want to at least have 2 rods with this setup in this spot. With the caramel and cream brulee. Because it just more consistently gets those white bream. By the way, if you didn't know, if there's ever a bleak order in the cafe, just come right here with like size 24 hooks and pearl barley. I'm not saying it's always active, but a lot of times it is. Flies or pearl barley, and just throw it, you know, float right here. Let it drift. It drifts. There's a current, but you'll catch bleak like crazy. That rough order would be easy too. All right, so it's just tough. Here, let me show you what I'm talking about. If you go to the lead cores, you know, this kind of shows you, this is the maximum load capacity lead core that you can use for carp. 36. So everything is like revolving around, can your rod hold 36? And of course, the Fortuna carp rod, which is only 16, it's like the best value rod in the game. Goes up to 39. And, you know, I think if the Wingate went up to 37 or something, like it'd be a no-brainer. It's more expensive. It does give you a bonus to fishing with a feeder rod, which is okay. Not like the best thing in the world. I guess you'd have to go Coldstream, get a little more, but even that's not maxed out, and you don't want to play around with snapping your rod. So I don't know. Is there really not a feeder rod that allows you to go 36? I don't think I actually realized this. I didn't realize how, like, so I'm sorry. I just think, why would you not get Fortuna carp rod? Why would you not just put together a legit carp setup that you can use anywhere except for copper? It's like, do you want to have to buy your carp rod again, or do you want to have to buy, you know, buy a rod you can use at copper? I think I'd rather get the carp rod and then deal with what I want to use at copper later. Because remember, yeah, you can do... It has to be feeder or picker. You could do Wingate. You could also save a little more and do Royal. Get a really nice bonus. You could also, and I kind of like doing this at copper, you could also go picker. I mean, not that you need to go that picker, but you could go this picker with all the bonuses. It goes up plenty. Or, this is what I ended up doing. You could go this picker, get a little XP bonus. You still got plenty of load capacity for copper. So there's just so many options. I think I will sleep on it, but I am really leaning towards Fortuna carp rod as I've just sort of like verbally processed this with you all. I think that's what I'm thinking. All right, this should be a nice white bream. Let's hope at least. Oh yeah, 244. Just white bream after white bream. Now let's see what's on this. This is the corn. Okay, there we go. Love to see it. Now nighttime is great. Nighttime you'll get these white breams. It's really nice. Roach. 63.4. Keeps on coming. So it's really nice. I mean, 8 minutes, and we haven't even been here to like efficiently catch the fish as we've been catching them. 8 minutes, 20 silver. Just depends on, like I said, tench and how good and quick those white bream come in. But this is what I'm talking about. Like, there are just good spots, even especially if you like bottom fishing. There's just good spots at so many places that just constantly are popping up, and it's been really fun to be able to like just target these white bream. But you know, now that I have 1 caliber HSV, we get that Fortuna carp rod. Let's see how much we actually would have left, because you know, I can buy it and then I can sleep on it. I can actually return it as long as I don't use it. So like right now, if I go to the store and hit Y, I could return this. We haven't used it yet. But let's see how much. I want to see exactly how much these two are together. If you're like good at math, you may already know, or if you've looked this up yourself. But I just want to know like how close we are to our second set. All right, and I definitely want to get the bottom one because it goes way over 36. All right, so here's the amount, right? 1679.30 plus the cost of this 2884.78. That equals 4,564. 4,564. So we're about 1,457. And if you ask me, you don't start fishing for carp. Look at this, white bream after white bream. You don't start fishing for carp until you at least have 2 carp setups. And there's probably something tricky you can do with the 3rd setup just to catch small fish in that spot, but you at least need to have 2. So we need, there's our Fortuna carp rod. And there's our caliber HSV. By the way, we'll do this one more time and then by the way, a lot of people like to do this. I haven't decided yet this time around if we're going to do it. A lot of people like to go in here with the friction brake and go up to 17. So it's just under 400 silver, but you're getting a little bit more power. A little bit more power with the carbon drag kit on that caliber HSV. And if you're gonna do that, it's probably worth choosing one of the 5-star oils, and I'm sure somebody will have a like specific recommendation. I think I would probably do this one, 118 silver. It's probably worth doing that. Look at this 0 gravity. It's so interesting. It specifically talks about bait casting. What does this talk about? It says including saltwater, so maybe it's not necessary for this. It says convention reels. I don't want something that says convention. High speed reels. I think I might try this one. The stab, not the extra solid, just the reactive. You got so many options. But one of these 5-star, that also looks good. That also looks good, except it mentions conventional. One of these 5-star oils probably be worth it. If you're going to spend a little more extra money to up the friction brake, that will make it wear out a little faster, I think, if you're not careful. But, I mean, that's kind of the plan if you want to get as much as you can out of the Caliber HSV. I could have sworn that fish was on there. So yeah, we'll see. I don't know. We need some more silver if we're gonna get our second setup. Once we have our second setup, I feel like we can start going. We can start incorporating some bear and Oldberg carp, and obviously going for things like burbot, that kind of thing. All right, I'm gonna wrap this up though. I don't think we have a fish on either one of these, and that's fine. All right, let's get out of here. Thank you for watching. Let me know what you think of my decision to go back to the very much the old trustworthy Fortuna carp rod Caliber HSV combo. I know there's a lot of ways to think about that, and it's maybe not like as the thing is, the reason why I love this spot is you don't get the really small white bream like you normally do, and I think it's just interesting. Like, we're just hitting really nice white bream after really nice white bream. But anyway, there's a lot of options, and some people get really focused on copper, which I understand that. Copper's amazing. I don't know. I think we can overreact to copper though, like I just like to have really solid carp setups, and this is definitely an affordable way to get that going. So, I don't know. It's my opinion. I'm not saying it's right. It's just kind of what I like to do. All right. As always, thanks for watching. Tight lines, everybody. I'll see you next time.